Hey everyone, it's Raziel here, coming at you again with another Xbox One SMITE God build. This time I'm bringing you Chaac, God of Rain. Um, and we're just gonna go over some, you know, some stuff to help out people. Starting out with Chaac, starting out with SMITE in general, and hopefully this will help you guys understand his kit a little bit more, and the item build to maybe get you a little bit ahead, and then you can run with it after that. Anyway. Before I get to it, we're going to go over his abilities, and then we'll go over his item build, the base one we'll call it, and then we'll go over his kit, his combos and everything else, how you should attack uh, the enemy. So before I start, I use the Savage build on the Xbox One, so my buttons down there on the lower right might differ from yours if you're using the default or something else. So as such, from now on, I will be calling these out as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Obviously, the 1 on the far left, the 4 is the ultimate. And so if I say a number instead of the actual corresponding button, that is why. Let's get right into it. I'm going to go with his passive. Here's Overflow. After five successful basic attacks, his next ability will cost no mana. Pretty good early game. That's one thing you'll hear about Chaac a lot. He's good early to mid game and kind of falls off later within the match. This can be true and it cannot be true depending on how you build, how aggressive you are, how good the team counteracts your plan of attack. So, it's pretty decent, it saves you some mana, especially early on before you get some of your items going. That will help out in the laning phase. His first ability is Thunderstrike. Excuse me. He throws his axe, damaging enemies within the radius, and the axe remains in the ground for about 5 seconds or until another ability is used. So this is a setup ability. Chaac is considered an ability-based god. So we're not going to be going so much attack speed build with him later on. We're going to be going ability items, power items, penetration maybe a little bit. So this is the setup build. And this is, this has, damage shown 8, 80, 140, 200, 260, and obviously 320 when it's maxed out, plus an additional 60% of his physical power each of these attacks, magical attacks, whatever, abilities, English. His 2 is called Turret. It's an AoE, kind of a leap, more of a teleportation in my book. He spins around him, damaging all enemies within the area of effect, hence AoE, and gains protections for each enemy that he hits for a max of 5. That being said, if his axe is out there because he threw it with his 1 ability, then he will teleport, well, it says leap, to the location where the axe is, and then spin around. So you throw it out there, you run this direction over here, you hit Torrent, and you're back where your axe was. You can use this to juke, you can use this to initiate and get the hell out of dodge. kind of scenario. Excuse me. It's a nice little extra, utility, we'll say. Additionally, it gives I lost my train of thought there, and I apologize. His damage plus 70% of attack power damage. I was looking at my notes for previous God build, so I apologize for that 5 seconds of dead air. You have my permission to skip that again if rewatch this. That's another 70% of his attack power. This is why we want to kind of get his power going as opposed to attack speed, because most attack speed items don't have a huge amount of power to them. So his next one here, I hit the wrong button, is Rain Dance. This is where he says make it rain. This is if you've played against him or have played him before. This is where he dances, and the rain comes down. Self-explanatory, I guess. He summons a rainstorm around him for 6 seconds. While it rains, he regens health. And enemies that are within his rainstorm are slowed. If his axe is his one is thrown out, another rainstorm will appear over there. So he'll have 2 rainstorms of possibility to cover most of the entire lane if you play it right with rain and mud and gunk. So this gives you 40% maximum slow, which is pretty good. It's a 20% slow at rank 1. That's pretty decent. You know, that's not bad at all. Plus it heals you for 30, plus an additional 15% of your power for every half second. So if this is out for what, 6 seconds? So 12 times 30, was that 360? Plus whatever extra from your physical power percentage there, 50% of that. Yeah. So, and then we'll go with his ultimate here, which is called Storm Call. He charges his axe and unleashes a blast around him, around an area. It silences and damages any enemy caught within the radius. While in the air, he has 50% damage negation and is immune to crowd control effects. So you can use this, say in Ares, has you chained, your purification is down, pop your ult, time it right, so he will not pull you in. I usually use this as an offensive ability more than a defensive one. Excuse me. So, one moment, I gotta get a water here. So, it's pretty good. There's also an extra little bonus to this ultimate. If his axe is thrown out from his one, so like I said, this is the setup ability, then it will trigger additional damage within that area, and it also knocks him up, which would be good for a Wheelix or anyone else who would like a knocked up enemy, which I think mostly is just the Wheelix. So it does 400 damage plus 100% of your attack power. So you had, say, 300 attack power. That's 700 right there. Plus, you silence them for 3 seconds. Plus, if your one is in there, for which hopefully you hit them from before, you do an additional 150 plus, let's see, was it 20% of your attack? So, okay. Your axe is in there. Got 550 damage. Plus 120% essentially of your attack power. Your attack power is 300. So you 360 plus 550. It's 910 or something like that. Or over, it's around 1,000. Oh, pretty close to 1,000 from his ult. If you had a squishy that is half health, he's dead. Period. Plus it silences him, which is really good. They're trying to set up. Boom. You got them. You got them. So we're gonna go now. And those are his abilities. We'll touch back on them in a moment when we go over his combos and his plan of attack, etc. We're gonna go into items first. As usual, go into relics. He's a warrior, so if you're playing Conquest, he'll most likely be within the solo lane. What does this mean? You're most likely gonna get teleport. Oops. But teleport is the item because warriors, for the most part, are slow, except maybe Amaterasu, or Amaterasu, however you pronounce it, with her passive there. So you can buy teleport right off the bat in Conquest, or even any game mode, but in Conquest most likely you're gonna get teleport first relic. Or you can wait, get in the lane, see what the enemy chooses. If they have teleport, you're definitely getting teleport. If they have something else, then maybe you can go with a weakening curse, or a sprint, or a frenzy, or something. more offensive or reactive, etc. Or you can hold off, and when you're back, you can buy teleport, use it, etc. Or you can buy that whatever item to counteract the non-teleport item in the solo lane. So first item usually is going to be teleport. First relic, I mean. Second relic could be anything. Could be frenzy if you guys didn't want to burn down the towers. Curse, weakening curse, whatever it's called now, just curse. Sprint. I mean, it's all up to you. For me, I'm just gonna go meditation. You know, this is totally situational. I've said it. I'm gonna say it a couple times for this video. I've said it every video God build previously. It's like 3, I think. This is all situational. This is not gonna be 100% of the time what you choose, what you pick, what you rank up, etc., etc. Because the other team's gonna have a different composition. You know, you're never gonna have the teams. There's 76 gods now, with Susanoo coming out. Oh yeah, by the way, this is for patch 3.9 or 3.8. No, it's 3.8. PC 3.9 is coming out soon. So Susanoo just came out. So there's 76 gods in the game. That's a lot of probability of having the same exact team comp more than once, more than twice, especially in a night. May have 2 or 3, etc. I'm going too far off a tangent here. So it's all situational. You can change this up. You can take my build that I suggest here, and you can mix and match the order. You can swap out things as you see fit, and I'll suggest that as I'm going through the build here in the next few minutes. So, for this, I'm just gonna, a little extra utility, meditation. You can go with sprint. Sprint's not a bad idea either. It also depends on what your team has for relics. You might go shell. What the hell? Everyone else has got some frenzies, meditations, everything else. Shell will help out. You guys are trying to get that fire giant, or you're trying to get that phoenix. So, first item, starter item. This goes for conquest. This goes for, I'd say, half the game modes. You could put this in Joust. You could put this in Clash. Unless you want to burn or rush a certain item. Like maybe for some reason you want to go Transcendence Rush. Like maybe with Hunters. But for the most part, you're gonna want to go Bluestone, because Bluestone gives you the extra mana, which is always nice, because it doesn't start out with that much mana. When I got him rank 20, he has less than 1,000 before items, so he's gonna be a little bit lower in mana. He's a warrior. But it also gives you some physical power off the bat. It's only 800 gold. But the passive, it has 30 physical damage over the next 2 seconds every time you use an ability. Well, you throw out your 1, then you hit the god. That's 30. You wait 2 seconds. As soon as that procs, you hit your 2, and you spin around and you hit him again. That's another 30. In addition to the actual damage you just did with your shit. So you get 2 procs essentially within 2 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds of each other. So Bluestone Pendant is the way to go. You're also in the solo lane, so usually this is what you go with Bluestone. Maybe different warriors will go maybe Death Toll or something else like that. More auto attack base might go Death Toll, but since he is essentially ability based, we're gonna go with Bluestone Pendant. So I'm not gonna choose it here because I'm gonna go with the actual build based after you buy this. So your second item, or your first, depending if you don't want to do this, would be boots. He's ability based. You don't want the auto attack boots. Even if he's an auto attack god, I usually don't do the auto attack boots. I don't like them that much. I like that extra power. Boom. Boots right away. Alright, so second item. Second item's can be swapped with the third item. These next 2 items can be interchangeable. If you are a little bit more ahead, a little more aggressive in the solo lane or any laning kind of thing, you can go with Jotun's Wrath or Jotun's Wrath, or however you pronounce it. And if you are even or worried that you're going to get boxed out from the other warrior, because it's most likely going to be warrior, you're gonna go with Breastplate of Valor. So we'll actually go Breastplate first, because that 20% cooldown, 300 mana, and gives us some protection. And then we'll go Tune's Wrath. So you between these two items here, you've got 40 power and 10 penetration. We've got 450 mana we just added, and we've capped out our cooldown reduction. We wanted that cooldown reduction capped out as soon as possible so we can get his abilities going. Bam, boom, boom, boom. From the solo lane, you're going to be getting the blue buff, the mana buff. You're in Clash, try to get that mana buff if you can. If a mage needs it, fine. You guys can fight over it if you want. That was my phone. I don't know if that's heard on the video, but so yeah. So these, the breastplate and Jotuns could be interchanged. Like I said, you're ahead. You want to be a little more aggressive. Go Jotuns first and breastplate after that. But you want to cap out a cooldown reduction as soon as you can. Plus extra mana helps. So at this point, oops, we can, you can go a few ways. It's probably getting close to mid game if you're not already there. The mages are thinking some things. So Conquest, most likely you're gonna go Bulwark of Hope, because you're gonna be frontlining with the Guardian. So this will take out any possibility of mid lane rotating on you and one-shotting you, etc. Plus, additionally, it gives you crowd control reduction, which is always great because Season 3 is all about crowd control. CC friggin' for days. That's all I got to say. And it also, when you get below 30% health, you get a little extra shield for 20 seconds. Not too bad. Save your ass a couple times. If you had sprints that are meditation, pop sprint, that shield will help you. And meditation will probably get you back up there too. I'll keep going, and then after this, I can talk about which items you could probably take out. So then, at this point, you're covered pretty much on. There it is. Covered pretty much on physical and magical defense. So you want a little extra power. It gives you, 30% power. But what's more important here with Titan's Bane is it gives you 33% penetration. It gives you a lot of penetration. So this will keep you a little bit more viable in the end game. Because this is now late game. If you had Bluestone Pendant, this is your 6th item, and you'll go back and either sell the Bluestone at this point if you haven't sold it already. So this will help you hit a little bit harder. This will help you, with your ults and everything else. The next item, you could go, if you haven't already, you could go Frostbound. I mean, your Rain Dance has a slow, but your Frostbound could just make him pretty much stand still in addition to your Rain Dance. Plus, the Frostbound could keep him slowed if your Rain Dance is on cooldown. You could also go Kin Size, because this will give you an additional physical power and speed, and it just does 4% health. So I'm going to pop Kin Size on here, but for when your ability is on cooldown, this will help chunk down the gods as they are. Plus, Kin Size is always great against Guardians and other warriors, other tanky warriors. So this, I would say, is your base build. Depending on how you're doing, how comfortable you feel about who's with you, in your lane. If you're doing something other than Conquest, you can swap these out in any order. You can take the Bulwark out and put Frostbound in instead. If they're mostly physical, you don't have to worry about magical too much. Take the Bulwark out, put Frostbound or some other. You can put Mystical Mail even in there, but Mystical Mail falls off. Mystical Mail is an early game item because the passive on that it only does 40 magical damage to units within 25 units, and after the laning phase, after early game, 40 magical damage isn't going to do too much, and especially in late game when everyone's pretty much full build and everything else. So You could take Mystical Mail if you get it early. Otherwise, I'd stay away. I'd stay with the Breastplate. You could take Breastplate out and put a cooldown like a Mantle of Discord or Spirit Robe. A Magi's Blessing, not so much. You can even put a physical Height of the Urchin in. Mantle of Discord's a very good item. You know, it's passive. Helps you get the hell out of dodge, essentially, if you get below a certain threshold. So, you know, it's all situational. It's all your play style. I like the Breastplate for the cooldown, the extra mana, and the physical. 75% physical damage. Or so whatever. Physical protection. When there's no passive, it's fairly cheap compared to the Mantle of Discord and everything else. So, you know, take Kinsize out for Brawler's Beatstick or something like that. Or you got it. They're heavy on the healers. You go for what's the Pestilence instead of a Bulwark. You know, so you're taking away their ability to heal. You know, you got a Hell or a Ra or something on their team. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I hope this build, you stick with this build to start out while you're learning the god. You should do all right. You may not be top kills. Hopefully you're not top deaths, and hopefully you're getting a decent amount of assists. So next, we're gonna go into using this build. We're gonna go into his combos. All right. So here's good old Odin. We're just gonna attack. You know, doing 225. Oh, hurt a little bit there. Oh, that's probably with the Kinsize and everything. Okay. Maybe, I don't know. So as you can see, my passive now is pretty high. We'll look at my mana. I'm gonna throw this down, and it didn't use any. I did what, 400 there or whatever. So that's my one. I threw my axe out. You'll notice if I throw it down again. Well, actually, passive back up. And I mean, with the Kinsides and everything, he attacks pretty fast at level 20. So I throw this down. There's a little indicator below my feet there, showing how long I have until my axe disappears. So we're gonna throw down the axe, and then we're gonna do number 2. Okay, we're gonna throw the number 2. Throw is 2. Talking about throwing shit here. So we do that, and then we hit a bumper. Boom! Teleports me there, or leaps, and I'm right there. I'll do the 2 without the axe down. And he just does it in place there. He kind of doesn't twirl himself when he does it. I just noticed that. Alright, so we're going to do Rain Dance. So we're going to throw this out again. And then if you notice, Rain Dance. There's 2 circles there. Now I'm doing a Venn diagram here. Yeah, so that would slow him down pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to actually throw my 1 and throw down my ultimate, because I don't want to deal with the cooldown for the ultimate here. So I'm going to throw the axe down and do my ult. See, that's the radius of the ult. Oh, boom, supercharged and it knocked him up. Just like the tooltip said. Imagine that. So, when I play Chaac, I play a little bit aggressive. I get in their face a little bit. You know why? Because I have Rain Dance, and Rain Dance heals me pretty damn good. Plus, if I'm doing Clash or something else, and I don't need Purification, I'll probably pick up the Meditation. So I'll have the heals. I'll have the ability to sustain myself in the lane as long as I can. You know, I'll pick up probably some mana pots, maybe even a couple of health potions. Just to do that. And I'm actually just Rain Dance. Here's my ult again without the axe. And I can move around. If I have time before I'm finished talking here, I'll move around. He doesn't have to be stationary. But he does turn yellow, so that means he's CC immune while he's in the air. So as I say, I'll play aggressive. So it's like, okay, I'm laning. I'll throw my axe in between, and then hit my 2. And I'll take out probably a good chunk of them, and get some experience there. Another item you could potentially get instead of Kin's Eyes or even for Titan's Bane is a Transcendence. That'll give you some extra power, give you definitely enough mana to keep going. Transcendence in the general rule is a good item to have on any physical damaging gun. Just a good item to have. It gives you plenty of power and it gives you mana, and it's just a good item. Straight up. I never really knew it at first until maybe halfway through season 2. So, alright, so that's pretty much that, Throw your 1, throw your 2, or use your 3. Oh, okay. The order you want to rank these up. 1, if you want to do the most damage. 3, if you want to heal more. And then 2, if you want to heal more, go 3, then 1, then 2. And your ult anywhere in there. If you want to do a lot more damage, you do your 1, maybe your 2, and then your 3, and your ult whenever you can. If your ult's on cooldown and you're going to get another level in between, you could probably go for one of the other abilities and then get the ult the next time. So you can skip the ult one or twice, potentially. So just one more time, I can leave while ulting, so there's that. I hope this helps. I hope that you guys are able to use Chaac a little bit more, hopefully not against me. Because he can hit hard. I had a joust match with one of my friends, Richie, where we essentially 2v3'd these guys. I was Chaac. He was. Might have been Huyi or something like that. I know, he was Cuckoo, I think. He was Cuckoo Khan or something like that. And we 2v3 these guys for a good 20 extra minutes longer than we should have. They only got us because we got greedy, and we decided our third was a troll, Mercury, who just rage quit because he was a bitch. Anyway, he's a good god. He's able to sustain. He can set up some people too with his silence. Use him, try him out. Let me know if this build works for you guys. If this helped, if you enjoyed it, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Feel free to catch me live on Twitch as well. I think the link will be in the description down there, as well as my Twitter handle has been, oops, over on this side. I always get this the wrong way. Nope, this way. Yep, over there. Browsium_Inc. for everything, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Leave a comment below if there's a specific god you want me to go over. I think maybe next one will be a Guardian, since I've hit every class so far. It might be Ymir, it might be someone else. So let me know. Again, as always, I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.